Thanks, man. Okay, give me a moment. It's just loading. All right, so I think we should be on YouTube and have some slides up. Am I right?
Looks like it from my end.
Fabulous. All right, cool. I am not Rajani. I'm Kerry, the pretender to the Town Hall throne. So bear with me if there are technical hitches on this one. We'll see how it goes. This is Town Hall number 53. It's a bit of a short one today. We put it together pretty last minute, but just wanted to do some content and update on coronavirus and a couple of other things around status. Right, so let's jump in. Jared, over to you.
Cool. Thanks, Kerry. You're doing an amazing job sitting in that throne. So basically I wanted to raise awareness again to everyone's status about the coronavirus. I'm sure everyone's heard of it now. But I also want to do like a little bit of education on like exponential curves, since they're a little hard for humans to get. Bear in mind, I'm not making any predictions. I'm just trying to like show you what things could potentially look like. So I did send an email last week giving some information. There's also a Discuss post there. There's the URL on the screen. So go read that and we can like chat about it there if you need to. But yeah, definitely expect like the next 2 to 3 months to be kind of rough. Actually, that's an understatement. Expect it to be rough. The best way to behave, I guess, during this period is to behave like you're already infected. So like isolating yourself socially, and doing the kinds of things that you would do if you didn't want to infect others. And that's probably the best way to kind of challenge, to take this on. At least that's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, definitely avoid like public places, especially co-working spaces. Do your best to wash your hands and use hand sanitizer. If you can, wear a mask and try to avoid touching your face, which is a lot harder to do, easy to say. Yeah, so basically, you know, I got a couple of graphs here. Again, they are not predictions. So in the bottom left here is basically the state of things today. So the green line is currently the total cases outside of China. Then the blue line is if we have a growth factor of 17%, a daily growth factor of 17%. And the red line is the daily growth factor around 19%, which is what we're currently seeing. Now, in the top right-hand corner, we have the end of March, which is in 2 weeks' time. And it just kind of shows you like how this daily growth rate just becomes exponential and things go kind of quick. Now, this may be the case already, since there is that 14-day sort of incubation time and, you know, roughly 5 days until symptoms onset till case determination. So this might already be the case. It's probably likely going to be somewhere between that blue and red line. It really depends on how the mitigation strategies that have already been implemented are working. Now, you know, a lot can happen further out than that, but in the bottom right-hand corner, like we have end of April, which is in 6 weeks' time, and things really start to snowball at this point. Again, this is not a prediction, and you know, like a lot of the governments and states are trying to do their best to flatten this curve. It really depends on that kind of response and the kind of response that we do. Again, like there's no real need to panic. Like for our age group, the case fatality rate is actually quite low. It's, you know, it is worse than the common flu. There's no denying that. But yeah. What else? The other thing to note here is like these are confirmed cases. So the actual number is probably 10 to 20 times larger than these. And also we're eventually going to hit our capacity to be able to do tests, even if countries are doing tests. So we will probably see this line change because of those reasons as well. So yeah, I mean, the good news is we are very fortunate to be able to work from home. And Carl and I were also aware of the coronavirus since mid-January. I've been tracking it pretty closely. And we also anticipated the crash. So we had already started mobilizing the organization's assets to secure a fiat runway that is longer than what we normally have. This is to provide everyone more security during these trying times. We also put together a small S&T bonus. I mean, I know it's not much, but it is to show our appreciation. And this is currently an ongoing process. So hopefully we'll have the details for you in the coming weeks. Next slide, please. Cool. So basically, in case you needed a reminder of why working on status is so important and why I'm so driven to push this project forward, it's because it kind of turns out while everyone is, to put it mildly, distracted by the coronavirus, apparently that's the perfect time for the US government to try and sneak a bill past that will ban end encryption, furthering the state surveillance apparatus and eroding freedom of speech. Hooray. It was introduced 5th of March. They had their first hearing just the other day. Spread the gospel. Let's try and get those US senators to think about it more critically. Anyway, that's it from me. Stay safe out there. And yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Jared. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, I think so, right?
Yep.
Yep, awesome, thank you. It's actually a really rubbish name for a bill, even if the content is not only just rubbish itself. I don't know where it came from. Anyway, all right, cool, People Ops update. So we've got 2 new joiners coming in. Victor's joining the Nimbus team on the 23rd of March. And Oliver is joining the marketing team to do performance marketing, and he'll be here as of tomorrow. We're really excited to welcome them both. Quick hiring update for you. We've got a couple of roles open for our POPs team. We are, sadly, Johnny's on her way out. So we're looking for somebody to join our team to help with our HR and ops coordination. On the design team, they're looking for a senior product design architect, and that search has just been kicked off in the last couple of weeks. On engineering, protocol engineer, we're looking for Dimitri's team, and also someone who can work on Go and NIM on the development side. And for marketing, kind of 2 open roles, really, 1 technical marketing manager and a technical copywriter. And you can see we just filled the performance marketer slot that we were looking for. And then I guess the last thing for me really is around contingency planning. I sort of pinged everyone, and not to be a doomsday prepper, but I think it's a good reminder to get organized if we need to, in case people have to take AFK at last minute. So I'm just really asking every team today to come together, do a bit of planning, get something written down in terms of like, if people are out, which work is critical and how does it go on without people there. And the idea is really that everyone then can just take a break if they need to, without having to worry that work won't get done. Another thing probably is helpful is in Bamboo HR, we have an emergency contact. So feel free to update that. So if you do get like quarantined or anything, hopefully not at short notice, we can get in touch with someone who can get in touch with you. And if you think of anything else that we need to be doing to get ready, or something that we've missed, or something that you need from us to make this kind of very difficult time a bit easier for you, just let me know. All right, on to security and infra. Corey.
Oh, no.
Corey.
That's awful. Corey, your mic is broken, I think.
It's just me. Whoa, let me see if I can mute him.
That was painful. Okay, maybe I can do it instead.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other parts of security, but there's been a lot of work regarding securing a building of our Android APKs. And we've already done a bunch of that. We moved a lot of the CI setup into a separate private repo, and also changed to the key store that is used for PR builds. So if you have trouble installing PR builds, you might have to uninstall the application, or you might just get a warning that it's signed by an unknown developer. That's to be expected. We're just trying to limit the possibility of anyone getting any kind of part of secrets that are used in building of the release APK. In infrastructure, there's also been a lot of work with Nimbus Fleet because the flow of logs just keeps growing. I guess they just keep adding new features, so it's getting ridiculous, but it's fine. We can manage. And marketing is picking up. So, for example, we have new podcast site for media.statusnetwork.com, which is managed by Gene Halls, and we got that up last week. That's most of it. There's also some work on the graph and its usage with DAP Discovery, DAP.ps, and we're trying to essentially make the backend use the graph to simplify it. That should be neat. That's most of it, really. Cheers.
All right, I think that brings us to the end of our very brief town hall. I didn't see any Q&A in the channel, so unless anyone on this call has anything, feel free to jump in if you want to ask anything. Awesome. All right, cool. Let's close it, shall we? All right, thanks everyone. Appreciate you bearing with us.
Is that better?
Oh, hey, it is. How are you?
Marginally.
Can you hear me now?
Perfectly.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. You want to go back to the security? I'll do that.
Cool, let's do it. There you go.
Yeah, sorry about that. After a lot of talks in Paris during the SDC meetup and the VAC meetup, we're planning a long-term security audit. So bringing multiple people in to keep long-term oversight and help on the building of F2 Nimbus. And as for Teller, we're finalizing an RFP, request for proposals, for the security audit of the Teller project. Along with the app, we've been talking a lot about how we build the APKs or the binaries for the status app, and then how those get shipped to the various places that we use for distribution. And we're kind of reconfiguring and checking the security status of how that works, and bolstering it, as Jakob alluded to in some of his updates. Various stuff going around organization. We have, for those who are core contributors, please check the security internal repo, which is available to anyone in the status GitHub group, for ongoing additions of kind of the security stance of each individual part of the organization. There's already some in terms of CI and infrastructure. I'll be adding more and more over time, relevant to disparate parts across the organization, to see like kind of like where threats are, what the processes there are along various things, what you can do in case something goes wrong, et cetera, et cetera. Try to make that the universal repo for where to go when something goes wrong or how things work. If you have information about this stuff, please feel free to make a PR. That certainly helps me fill out the documentation in time. Everyone knows I'm not very good at documentation. Let's see. For more public-facing security-related information, check the status security repo, which is the same thing, but for all information we would like to disclose on public security stuff like audits, FAQ, policies, incident reports, so on and so forth. And the retainer with Trail of Bits has stopped. We'll be reallocating that money we're using with the retainer towards other security-related initiatives that will be going in the next 36 months. And part of that will also be finally the road to making our HackerOne bug mining program a public campaign, where should be the one-stop shop for disclosing and finding what you can look at if you have any security-related bugs within anything in the status ecosystem. So stay tuned. We'll have more concrete details probably in the next town hall, assuming COVID doesn't take all of my time.
Nice. Thanks, Corey. All right, cool. Yeah. Any other questions? Cool. All right, thanks everyone. I'm gonna shut this down. Cheers and have a nice day.
Thank you so much. Ciao, ciao.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.